Oh my gosh, hello friends, hello lovely listeners.
We are your boyfriend twins,
We're the same.
but different. And different races, and different capacity for emotional availability. Also, we're not actually boyfriends.
Yeah, we'll get into it later. Yes, we're not related either. Just, two friends who locked eyes one time.
We've literally never met in person. Yeah. People kept harassing both of us in our comments, being like, oh my god, you look like him, he looks like you. And then finally I was like, okay, who is this guy? And we followed each other, and Kevin, I remember you just messaged, you're like, hey twin, or hey cousin, and I made a joke, I was like, haha, are you am I your ethnic cousin?
And I said yes.
Haha, yeah. And
And
here
I've
we
been
are.
lying about it ever since. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, hey, I was flattered. I remember when I looked through your profile, I was like, ooh, I could use these little sexy pictures for my dating apps.
I think the best thing about our friendship is that we use each other's clout at all times, constantly.
Let's not use the word friendship that liberally, please.
You're right.
Coworkers?
Sexual history. You're right.
Don't even joke. The amount of horny commenters who are going to believe that.
They're not. Get used to them, baby. You're in it now.
Yeah.
You've
Like,
joined
you saw that
my
one
camp.
comment, right?
Of
Where
course.
someone's like, oh, I want them to collaborate in the bedroom. I'm like, literally, we would start fighting. I would start crying, and Kevin would just start doing push-ups. Like, nothing would happen. Nothing sexual would happen.
Nothing sexual.
I'd be like, oh my god, I don't want to take off my shirt. I'm self-conscious. And you'd be like, shut up. God, you talk so much. And you just start doing like pull-ups. Someone would come in, you'd be like, I have a session.
Listen, in my defense, you do talk a lot.
I do. I do talk a lot.
You do. Aw,
Yeah.
buddy. Well, speaking of
Yeah.
talking a lot, tell me how your week was. If your week
Okay.
was a sexual position, what would it be?
If my week was a sexual position. So last week I was going to New York, the Big Apple. This week I came back from New York, the Big Apple. So this week my sex position is the apple leaving the ass. If you heard the last episode, you'll understand the reference. So this week the apple has left the ass and it has come back to Toronto, in a kind of a new skin. The wax has been removed from the anal residue that interacted with it, and the enzymes caused it to break down, the stickers off, but it's still an apple and it's a little different. Might have a worm or two.
I don't want to do this with you anymore. I don't. So you do things like this. You do things like this, and I don't know how to act. I don't know what to do. What does it mean that there's a worm in your apple? Where do I go from here as a human being
Oh my
with a
God.
thought process? Like, what do I feasibly take from that other than the idea that you're insane? Like, what?
Drake's leaked video of his pee-pee, it had a wormy vibe.
Alrighty.
Okay, no, Kevin, genuinely though, I had such a good time in New York. It was amazing. It always kind of recharges me. I met a bunch of amazing friends.
What'd you do?
I ate a bunch of food. I met a bunch of my like online creator friends who I've been friends with for so long, but finally met in person. We vibed even better in person, which was something I was worried about. Oh my god, I love them so much. It was so fun. And also, okay, another fun thing about this week was a few of our videos really popped off on socials. Thanks, guys. And the amount of comments, I was shocked. Did you know there are so many people that genuinely thought we were the same person for a long time before we started this podcast? They're not joking. They're like, oh my god, that's so awkward. I thought you two were the same person this entire time.
See, that does worry me, though. That does worry me a little bit, only because you are staunchly a creator who is consistently talking about their diverse experience in the world.
Yeah.
And then there's me, a white boy who lifts and does bicep curls. So that makes me a little nervous of people's
But-
like media comprehension. But
But you
you're
did
welcome.
show some ass this week.
You're
you
right.
showed some ass.
I showed my ass literally and figuratively. It was
Yeah,
fun.
a
It
bunch
was
of my
fun
friends
little
sent
journey.
that. Yeah, and they were like,
You're
oh my god,
welcome.
is this your twin? And I was like, yeah, it is.
Be like,
That's
no,
his
that's
ass.
actually my ass. Thank you.
Yeah, it's mine. Literally, my cousin messaged me and she's like, can you ask your podcast friend how his ass is so lifted? Kevin says to do squats. Okay, another thing, last thing, I know I'm really rambling. Something that's really been-
Here, I'll listen to your ramble under one condition: tie it all up into a sexual position that sums up your week.
I did. The apple
No,
came out of the
that's not a
ass.
sexual position. That is an act that you put up on yourself and then allowed us to listen to afterwards. I am curious to see what sexual position you'd be in after summing all of this up, because it sounds like you had a pretty great week. So what would that position be?
It would be 69ing, but instead of doing sexual stuff to each other's genitals, we're giggling at them in a lovely way. We're
I
like, oh my
swear to
god, I don't even want to have sex. I'm just like really enjoying our time together. Hee.
Cheers. That's great. Hey, you answered the question. What was the thing you were gonna put in there?
That Nickelodeon documentary and the stuff coming out from it has been absolutely bonkers. Like
Yeah.
after, and Kevin, I know you have also read Jeanette McCurdy's book.
Yeah.
It's not surprising reading the stuff that came out, but like the extent of child abuse and exploitation that happens behind the camera while we were literally just children watching shows like All That and Drake and Josh and being like, oh, this is fun. Like it is scary.
It is scary. I have a hard time communicating this because it sounds like I'm dismissing it. I haven't watched the documentary yet, but I have always been very connected and into the like Nickelodeon Snyderverse, if you will.
Same.
Like I watched Victorious as it came out, and what's interesting to me is the reaction to it seems to be more like people are more surprised than I think I'm comfortable with. A lot of the clips and a lot of the news articles that are coming out about it like are not surprising to me in any way,
No.
especially after reading Jeanette McCurdy's book, because abuse doesn't happen in a vacuum. It doesn't just like
No.
happen once and it's like, wow, that's really unlucky. It happens because, systems allow it to fester and exist in perpetuity. So
Yeah.
to hear Jeanette McCurdy speak her truth and I'd be like, yeah, wow. And then to hear everyone else come forward and speak their truth, I'm like, yes. Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
also, I think that something that like time has forgotten is when Victorious was first coming out, when they were advertising it, they were doing this online publicity where the characters would make slap videos where the slap was like this Nickelodeon version of MySpace. And maybe I'll edit in some clips for the video cast, but there are some incredibly inappropriate and sexual positions and weird things they have the kids doing.
Yeah.
And when you look at that through the lens of like an adult, it is inexcusable that it was allowed to happen simply because these things share no context. It's not even like, yeah, but the joke is like, it's supposed to be sexual, but it's not. Like, it is literally just in the background, and it's really fucking gross. And so, again, I'm like, I don't mean to dismiss people who are learning this for the first time, but it is like a little frustrating to see people be like, can you believe it? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can believe it. I watched Ariana Grande play with like this weird jelly tube while she talks about going to high school. Like, I do believe it. I can believe it.
Really dark stuff. I understand your sentiment, but yeah, I was just saying that was on my mind recently because I don't know, it was just painful to think about. But
so what would that sexual position be?
We're not going to go into that. That sexual position is taking Dan Schneider to court. Is that sexual position? Yeah. What about you, Kevin? Give me something. How was your week? Give me a sex position.
I lined you up with that saw trap, and you just wiggled your way out and
I did
outside.
Of course. So, okay, what would your sexual position be for this week? And tell me what happened.
If my week was a sexual position, it would be me pretending to be a mannequin while I stay as still as possible, and someone just slams me from behind because my shoulder, I did something. I stressed out my shoulder. The muscle hurts so badly.
You do that to the people in your life too, so that isn't surprising.
I'm just a ball of stress and I just let everyone else have it. No, I fucked my shoulder up somehow and it hurts so badly to the point where like I can't move it in certain positions. It's getting better now, but this entire week I've been just like robotically trying to move while not screwing anything up. I know it happened while I was sleeping, and I don't know how to fix this problem because I will go to bed purposefully on my back, hands crossed like a vampire, and just like waiting to be awoken from their tomb. And then I will wake up literally on the other side of the room, my body contorted sideways, blankets thrown, pillows gone. I don't know why. And so it's to the point where it's like I am fucking up my body somehow in the middle of the night by like contorting backwards, and I don't know how to stop it, and it's ruining my life.
Have you been told by people you've shared bed with, like partners or whatever, like that you move a lot in your sleep? Is this like a pattern?
I do move a lot, but the last relationship I had, they had a weighted blanket, and I think that reined me in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how to fix this problem, so I'm getting screwed, if you will, sexually
Okay.
and lifestyle wise.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
There
not
you
fun.
go.
That would be it.
I mean, hey, I appreciate the description of the sexual position. It actually feels quite apt now that you've described everything.
Fuck off with that. I'm sorry. You just described an apple coming out of your ass with a worm inside of it. How dare you? How
Were
dare you
you
judge
bullied
me?
as a child? I was literally being genuine, you troglodyte.
No. No, I
Yes, I
was.
was.
No, you weren't.
I
You
was
weren't being
being genuine.
genuine.
I
No, you
said that I appreciate that your
nuh-uh.
description matched your experience. You're just not used
And
to
you
assuming
appreciate
nice
that I
things that
followed
people
the
say.
rules of the game? Wow.
Yeah, I did. Why is that hard to believe?
I genuinely didn't pick up on that genuineness. I thought you were
Yeah,
being a little
Kevin would
bitch.
show up to his wedding and the other person would be like, I do, and he'd be like, huh, oh yeah, you think that's real funny, don't you, little shit? You do?
Oh, you
Oh,
wrote a vow? Oh, how
yeah,
typical. What is this? A
yeah,
movie? Steven Spielberg, great work today. Well, yeah, of
exactly.
course. What am I going to do? Profess my love?
It's the most beautiful part. I
It's
listen, don't even
not.
joke about it. And I'm so glad we're talking about romance today because for me, the profession of love is one of the most beautiful acts. And like, we're going to get into it. I have done the most romantic shit for men that don't deserve it, but I've done it. Oh my God, I'm so excited to tell you about it.
My gosh, I'm
Before we
gonna
get
do
there
my
though,
best. I'm gonna do my absolute best this entire episode to keep my eye rolling to a minimum, so that I don't develop some kind of spastic issue with my eye muscles, because
yeah, well,
we're gonna have some trouble today.
yeah, well, I'll try to do the same for when you're like, oh my God, ew, that's so gross. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Do you have anything fun you're looking forward to before we get into it? I want to know if you have any fun like spring, summer plans. Spring
No,
break? No. You
no,
like flash your titties?
I do that on a regular basis. I don't need a holiday to flash my titties. I don't need any reason to get me some free Mardi Gras beads. Thank you so
This is
much.
true.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
no, actually though, I so my birthday was yesterday, and I spent the
What?
entire day off.
Kevin? Happy belated birthday!
You didn't know?
Kevin?
Wow.
No, you didn't. How am I supposed to know? What the hell?
I mean, I
Happy
would hope that
belated.
my business partner and fake relationship person would know
Oh,
my birthday.
Kevin,
You know?
that's really, really nice. That's really cute. Oh, you're
It's really
31
cute.
now.
Okay. Anyway, moving
You're
on. Thank
31.
you. Appreciate
Did
it.
you get a
Yes.
Did you get a cake?
No, I will tell you what I did if you let me finish.
Oh, it's Kevin's belated birthday. That's so cute.
Thank
Oh.
you.
So we were talking about how you just turned 31. So I want to talk about like old-fashioned things.
Thank you. Thank you. Horse buggies.
Kevin, it's no surprise to you that I am a sucker for romance, and I'm going to tell you guys all about the beautiful romantic shit I do when I'm dating someone.
I'm excited for this episode because
Yeah.
we will just never see eye to eye on romance.
No. Or taking off our shirts in public. When I was 12, the lifeguard was laughing at my body, and I never went shirtless again.
Aww. I want to first start with like your ideal first date that has romance.
My
in it.
ideal first date. For me, romance on a first date is all about just like baseline connection. I don't want a fancy dinner. I don't want to like dress up. I want to like get coffee and go on a long walk. To me, the most romantic thing is like learning about you, connecting with you, seeing how you interact with the world around you. And while we talk and learn about each other and like the beautiful sun, and I think there's a lot of beauty there. And to me, that's the most romantic thing, is being like, who are you? You know, like,
yeah, there's a lot of beauty. Why don't you
welcome.
stare out at the sun for 30 minutes? I'm in a dismissive fighting mood already.
If you guys are not watching this on YouTube, I'm making a very triggered face right now.
Okay. Anyway, what's your love language?
Physical touch and words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation. Okay. Mine is
Wait, no, don't tell me. No, I was gonna guess. It's quality time and acts of service.
yes. Here's my problem with
Okay,
romance.
okay.
Here's my problem. It is often seen as an event. I think a lot of people will do romantic things,
Yes.
but if those romantic things only happen sometimes and they are out of character, I find it particularly useless. So
I agree.
I often lean away from romantic gestures and
Sure.
try to focus in relationships on what I can consistently do, because
Yeah.
I think there's value to someone bringing you flowers every once in a while, that's really sweet. I think like a text in the morning is far more romantic than rose petals on a bed. There's something about this, like,
Yeah.
because that's a thing. I feel like a lot of romance is also replicated from what we see in movies and TV. I don't want you to replicate what you saw in Love, Victor. Those are high schoolers.
Yeah.
This is weird now. Go in an episode of White Lotus. Like I
Yeah.
want something original from the heart, like something that you enjoy that I can enjoy with you. So it's
Yeah.
interesting that you bring up like a walk at the park, because I think that's one of the most romantic things you can do, because you're talking, you're engaging, you're being
Yeah.
with the person, and it's just two people connecting at a
Kevin,
place.
there was nothing controversial about what you said. I agree. I think that's beautiful. And I agree with the fact that performative public gestures are like, for me, cringe and gross. So Kevin, you are a romantic person. To you, quality time and connecting with someone on an intimate, consistent level is nice. But you're like, oh no, that's not romance. I'm not romantic. But you are. Sorry, sweetie. You just admitted it.
I reject all of that. I'm not a romantic person. See, that's the thing. I wouldn't consider what I do romantic. I guess if I may backpedal for a second.
No one cares what you call it or think about it. It is it.
No one cares what I call it. That's
or
not
think about
necessarily
it.
true. That's the thing. Okay, so I guess I've never been with someone who thinks that like my plain actions are seen as romantic. I think most people see them as
No, I did like I hope you find that for you, because those plain actions are consistent. They stay, they're long term. That is the most beautiful thing. Like I'm somebody, like when I'm in a relationship, for example, like for me, it's all about the consistency and longevity of it, right? You'll find people like that. That is the most beautiful thing you can do. It's beautiful and it's good. And that, oh my God,
beautiful.
shut up. You're so annoying.
I'm sorry. I'm reacting authentically. That's
Oh yeah,
just
well
a
try to
romantic
stage it a
thing
little
that I
bit.
do.
Yeah.
You love a public display of affection?
Me, I hate public displays of affection. I think they're cringe,
I'm not talking about
embarrassing.
like proposing in a subway. I'm talking about like holding a hand at Disneyland. Do you wanna hold
Sometimes it might make
someone's
me
hand?
anxious. I
You
want
wanna
to
hold
hold
someone's
someone's
hand? You
hand,
wanna
but
hold
I
them?
don't want.
You just
I
described
don't
earlier about
care.
69ing and giggling, and you don't want to hold a
Okay,
hand?
okay. I love holding hands. I don't want people. I don't care for people seeing it. For me, it's not about the other people. It's about me and my partner connecting in a very like passive but like intimate way, and like being each other's kind of physical. It's like a physical manifestation of you're my home base, but I can deviate a little bit.
What kind of PDA do you like see and you're like, tacky, bad, no?
Okay, the only okay, if it works for you, blah blah blah. I think proposing to people in public. Ugh, why are you doing it? Are you doing it so other people can clap for you, or is it about the love you have for the person? If I got proposed to in public, I'd push them off a cliff and I'd steal the ring. Other forms of
Well, you gotta
PDA.
steal the ring first before you push them off the cliff.
No, I want to get the body just to make sure they're gone, and then I'll
Get the
ring.
helicopter, dive on down.
You need to see if the ring is also worth saving. If it survived the fall, it's good quality. Okay, I'm curious about your relationship with PDA. Is there any PDA that you like?
I fucking hate PDAs so
Even hand
much.
holding?
I hate it. Here's the thing. I'm a curmudgeon, and I'm aware that I'm a curmudgeon. I
Good.
will do something for someone else if it makes them happy, right? Like, I
Okay.
will go out of my way to put up with it. It will always be me putting up with the active public display of affection, because, like, I don't want to hold your hand. I don't want to hug. I don't want to hold you. I don't. That's the thing. It's like, I don't know how to unlearn the idea that when I am in public, I have to think about touching another person.
Kevin, I don't think you need to unlearn this. It sounds like you're very in touch with. Shut up. It sounds like you're very in touch with the things that you actually like and don't like. You're aware of the fact that people might have needs that you need to meet. And you're like, okay, I'll meet it to make them happy, but like, I don't need this. Why do you have to unlearn that?
It is necessarily healthy that anytime someone goes in to hold my hand, I say, ugh, okay.
That's not what we agreed on. I didn't say that.
I'm asking. What is the agreement? What contract was signed?
So,
Where was I?
I don't think that's, well, okay. I think if you're working with someone else's love languages and trying to adapt them, that's great. I don't think you need to
We disagree on a lot of stuff.
I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not done.
I'm not done either, bitch.
We are going to find the middle ground.
No,
I will interrupt you.
No, I just want to hear what you disagree with.
My problem is that I'm like, okay, I like that you're adapting to other people's love languages. Do you have to be like, ugh, like either commit to being a good partner who's going to show up for their partner, or don't?
Great. We've gotten to the caramel center, the chewy middle of the candy here.
Mm-hmm.
In a relationship, I should say, how much should you give and how much should you expect to like be on the same page about? Like,
Mm-hmm.
is it fair for me to say, like, go to a partner and be like, I don't do PDA, I don't do that, because every time I do it, I think negatively, and I don't want to associate you with negative feelings? Or should I say, ugh, I hate this, but I'll put up with it every once in a while? Or should I say, ugh, I hate this, I'll do it every time, but I will be like resenting it a little bit because I think it's lame? And this is the context, right, where it's like you give and take some, but like you're not going to find someone in a relationship who is just you. That's lame, that's boring, that's
No, of course.
unexciting. So
Yeah.
as someone who hates public display, and we're using hand holding as like the thing, but it is everything. It's kisses in public. It is
Yeah.
just like physical affirmation of touch. I just don't, it's not what I go to. It's not what I think about. It's not what I prefer. So
Okay.
what do you think is the healthy balance?
Let me think out loud, okay?
Yeah. So now we're getting to the weeds, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
This has been my struggle whole life. It's PDA as a young child. I remember like it really does come down to like the Tina Fey of it all, where it's just like, blurg, I don't want to do this. I just want to skip to 10 years in the future where neither of us have to try and we just live together. And the struggle throughout my entire life is trying to understand what is tacky and what is necessary for human connection, and how I can find that balance between what is good for me to learn how to do and what is authentically okay for me to like fucking reject because that's tacky.
I guess it depends on the person. It's like maybe when you love someone enough, adapting your love languages, or like understanding that you have different love languages, being like, okay, this doesn't really do anything for me, but like if this makes them happy, that's great, like is a part of it. But that's a cop out, because you're not saying it's neutral. You're saying you actively dislike it. If you actively dislike something and it makes you uncomfortable, it isn't fair to expect you to do it. But on the other hand, you're saying, but it's not reasonable to like expect your partner to be okay with that.
So
but maybe there are people who would be okay with it. I would say I wonder if I would talk to a therapist about reassociating, or talk to my friends or myself, or journal about reassociating and being like, what is my relationship with intimacy? Don't laugh at me.
Did I just ask you a hypothetical and you tell me to go to therapy? What the fuck, man? How dare you? How dare you lob facts at me as if they're insults? Just shoot me with a fact gun from my own making, right in the chest, with no Kevlar vest.
What's
at
Kevlar?
All.
Isn't that like fish eggs? I'm kidding.
Yes. You stupid slut. I hate you so much. Oh God. This is Love Simon's fault. All of this entire conversation, I'm looking directly at you, Hulu show number 17.
All of these Gen Zs growing up with all of this queer media that we never had, like all of these positive representations of love. Did you grow up with any like positive queer media?
You know what? No. So my first like queer media association came from Happy Endings, where
what's that? Isn't that when you go to a massage and they
yeah as a kid I'm not gonna go there.
Don't. I was gonna make a Dan Schneider joke and I didn't. It's like, oh yeah, segue, Dan Schneider. No,
he'd love this episode. He'd be such a fan. No, so Happy Endings was a cult classic show on ABC. I think it came out around 2011, 2013. And it's basically like one of those spin-off of Friends. You know, it's very much How I Met Your Mother. It's very Friends, very Cheers-esque. And just 6 friends living in Chicago doing the thing. However, there's a gay character and they are basically played as a straight man. If, not straight man as in like writing style, like not the normal person in the room straight man. I mean,
like they heterosexual.
So everything they do is coded as straight, but they are labeled as gay.
Kind of like me.
We're going to move on past that. And of course, every relationship that they have is also with a man who very much passes as straight. Granted, this
Sure.
was 10 years ago, so that's where we were at. It makes sense. You were either a straight person who's gay, or you were the caricature. You were the Cam from Modern Family, where you're literally prancing around so that the straight people watching could identify you as gay.
Played by a straight man, by the way. Very impressive character work on his part.
So fucking good. So good.
Yeah.
The actor, I mean, it's a testament to the writing of Modern Family, but those gay characters are so fucking funny. And what I love about it is that they are, I mean, they're not the deepest, but they are problematic in a way where it's like human.
Yeah.
And I love it. Today, I will say my biggest qualm with gay media today is that they are so fucking precious with their characters. It's
the problem with all media.
I feel like it's worse with queer media though, because at least straight people have a couple good shows where, like, you know, we can watch Breaking Bad and see Walter White murder a guy and be like, neat. Where gay media today, it's either made so cheaply that the budget is $7, or these fucking shows center themselves around just the most lukewarm milquetoast plots that have no diversity in them, that the only thing gay about it is that they're just two white kids kissing, and I'm like, I don't want to see this.
So okay, I was reading this interview that Iowa Debris did when she was writing Bottoms, and she was like, people are afraid to write problematic characters. She's like, it doesn't, like, people are problematic and it can be funny. Like, these characters don't have to be perfect. The whole point is growth. Like, people say stupid shit. Like, let them be flawed and idiotic.
Yeah, well, here's the problem, because I talk about this all the time on my book club, because we read gay novels and 90% of the gay books out there are young adult. And the problem with gay media is that the audience is not gay people. It is middle-aged white women in the very center of the fucking country. Like, that sounds like a read, but it's not. Like, who is watching the movie Red, White, and Royal Blue? It's not the faggots on Twitter. Like, it's not the people who are supposed to be emulated. It is the moms who also like ride or die for 50 Shades of Grey and stuff like that. It is the people who want romance, not people who want diversity. So you have all these stories that are inclusive, like, by nature, but do nothing to actually depict a real life, like, not real life, but a realistic scenario or original scenario of romance that replicates the queer existence. And I'll go further, because if you're watching the video cast, I'm showing some books on the screen right now. All of these books, I get so annoyed because they are diverse technically, but they do not take advantage of the queer experience, in that there is more to life than finding a man in high school and then saying, I'm so happy now. And I get so annoyed because it's like, what fucking gay high schooler has ever had a plan? What gay, like, these queer losers in high school, and I can say this because I'm one of them, are going to school studying fucking theater. You're gonna find yourself a man and stick with him forever? I don't fucking think so. I don't think so. Never has that ever happened. No gay person has ever married their high school sweetheart, and if they have, they are lying to themselves.
And if you marry your high school sweetheart you met in theater club, and
yourself.
I almost said it, but then I stopped. I shouldn't say that.
I'll say it. I'll say it. They can cancel me. If you met your high school sweetheart in theater club, yourself.
I have something really intense to say.
I don't know how it could possibly be worse than what I just said.
So I agree with the fact that it's prevalent in queer media. We're seeing so much writing right now in both queer and general media where people refuse to have characters that can be flawed and say fucked up things. And what it does is it stunts growth. For example, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, there was a live action remake. They got rid of one of the characters' sexist remarks that he actually ends up taking back and learning from because they want him to be more squeaky clean. I think this is directly related to the way that people in the North American regions and in fact Western regions view punishment. I think this is our reflection of the way we emphasize punitive action instead of restorative justice. This is
Yeah.
all completely related. We don't see people as being able to grow after saying something fucked up. We see people as disposable. Someone fucked up, they are disposable. And this is not me saying, oh, cancel culture, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, a lot of the celebrities that do awful stuff aren't even doing the proper things that fit into the framework of restorative justice that would allow us to, see them holding accountability. So this is not a knock on cancel culture. I would love to see celebrities who have no moral compass and a lot of money to get taken down 8 pegs. But so much writing is just reflecting the fact that we don't see people as being able to change and grow, and that's not interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, a lot of it's just poor media consumption. Part of me wants to blame the internet, but I think what has happened is that there have been a number of people that have always had terrible media consumption. I think nowadays they are just louder and those voices are amplified through, quote unquote commentary.
Yeah.
So like you'll read back when like radio was invented, women would write in to men on the radio station and profess their love and be like, I'm saving myself for you. I'm doing this for you.
Yeah.
You are the only man that I think deserves my chastity. Please write back. And it's like this idea of like a lack of understanding of how media works and how it functions has always been around. And I don't think it's a internet problem. I just think the amplification, like bad faith social justice is the problem. I think too many people are insecure about their place in the world, and they think that if they are loud online or if they like a post that seems to be like championing justice, that kind of calms them down a little bit. So I do think it's less of like, oh, the internet's ruining our brains, and more just like, no, I think people are just anxious about their role in society and will often go around with bad ideas while thinking that they're helping.
Because they think it's more about public virtue signaling versus actual acts of compassion that can be gritty and dirty and require reflection and accepting that we've done fucked up things, because I can tell you I've done some really shitty things.
I know. And we'll talk about them all on the podcast.
So, okay, we're talking about bad media, Kevin. You know why I'm such a deep romantic? Why? I grew up with Bollywood movies.
Oh, see, you grew up with cooler shit than I did. That's the problem.
Okay, yes, cooler shit, but the stuff that I internalized, first of all, I'm so deeply romantic because of them. You know what I did on my 1-year anniversary with my first boyfriend?
Uh-oh.
I made him a calendar. In each calendar was a drawing that I hand drew and watercolor painted. It was a cartoon of us. And then I got this calendar made. So January of the calendar is a picture I drew and painted. You piece of shit. Stop laughing.
Sorry.
And it showed, it was a moment from last January. So like if it's March, it'd be like, oh, last March we were doing this. So like, if in March 20, you fucking piece of shit.
I'm sorry.
If in March 20... So he'll open the March 2020 calendar. He'll open the March 2020 calendar, and it'll be like a painting of us moving in together. And it was really cute. You can laugh. You're stupid.
Sorry.
And it was so romantic and beautiful. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Kevin, you can laugh. You can laugh all you want. It's so beautiful and romantic. And I made the calendar all by myself. I spent so much time drawing and painting them and scanning everything. Fucking piece of shit. You are such an asshole. May you and my ex both.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You can laugh. It was extremely romantic and cute. He appreciated it, but he's a love bombing piece of shit, so we don't need to talk about him. But my point is that it's made me incredibly romantic. Can I tell you what's so fucked up about Bollywood, though? They also glorify the most fucked up shit. There's a scene in a movie, I've talked about this Bollywood movie before, it's called Devdas, where like he starts hitting her like with a piece of jewelry and she bleeds a bit, and he says something about like it looks like the moon or something really bizarre, and she's like, ow. And my friends were watching with me and they were literally recently watching, they're like, oh my god, that's so hot. And I was like, he's literally just physically abusing her. Another thing that Bollywood taught me that I thought was normal was like, okay, they'll do this thing, they'll never show kissing, at least back in the day. They'll like almost kiss, and then the girl will be like and she'll like hide behind a tree.
That's
how
how
the
I do
guy
it.
will be behind.
That's how I do it. I don't like. That's when I don't want to do public displays of affection. That's how I do it. They go in for a handhold. I say tee, And then I run the opposite direction.
And they run the opposite. They run around the tree and they'll be like behind the tree and they'll be like, and it's cute with music, but I bet if there was no music, it would just look like a man trying to assault a woman chasing her around the park.
Oh, 100%. It's like, that is a no, sir. That is very much she's literally running away from you.
Yeah. What was so funny about my calendar that I made, Kevin? Why don't you elaborate on that?
I know. The thing is, you talk about like hand drawing and hand watercolor, and the only thing I can think of with watercolor is a 6-year-old's drawing on the refrigerator. So I'm imagining you giving him this calendar of like stupid fucking scribbles of a dog and a family with this square house. And
that is grass. Funny.
And hold up, he's like, "Isn't this romantic?" And it looks like a fucking toddler brought it home from preschool. I could not.
That is actually really funny, Kevin. I really love painting and visual art.
No, not this.
Shut up.
No.
Shut up. No, shut up. It's cute.
There's a lot of extra content for the video today.
Yeah.
Cheers.
This is ugly.
You're welcome.
Cute. Hold up. This is really cute. I've made some really cute stuff. This is like some of the silly cartoons I would make with my watercolors. It looks stupid here, but it's cuter in person. Fuck you. It's really cute. This is him holding his heart, and he's wondering why it's prickly, but it's causing him to bleed. He's kind of like you.
I thought that was a urinal for a second.
Okay, well, you can go fuck yourself. And then this is a cat. She's wearing a dress, and she's very pretty.
That is a very good drawing. She looks very prestigious.
So the drawings I made were really good. But I tell you something fucked up I did though, because I'm really not intentionally, because I'm really romantic. The first time I ever was into a guy, I was a situationship for literally a week. I thought that I wanted to date him after the break was over, the Christmas break was over. And so what I did was I asked him to be my boyfriend with a drawing of our Snapchat Bitmojis and all of the stuff we did together in that week, because we chatted over Snapchat a lot. I gave him this drawing. I was like, "Oh, I want to be your boyfriend." It made this huge romantic gesture. And the next day I was like, "Oh, I don't want that." So I messaged him on Snapchat and I was like, "We should break up." I was 21. I didn't know anything.
Well, yeah, you were using Snapchat. That's the first indication.
Snapchat. Snapchat.
Yeehaw, baby.
Yeah, you have such an American accent. Sometimes you go, the Snapchat.
Well, that makes sense. I do live in America, so that fits, bitch.
I'm trying to work on my impression of you, Kevin.
Let's hear it.
I'm working on it. We're not there yet. It takes some time, but you're very through the editing. I already know because you're very hawk-eyed and shut the fuck up.
That's your impression of me? Yeah. Okay. Well,
what's your impression of me?
Just whatever piercing scream I can make into the mic. I think that's pretty good. I think that's right on track. I think we nailed it. No, but yours is great.
Keep that? Can you keep that, please? Can you keep that? Can we keep that? That was so funny. No, Kevin, it'll be so funny. People will love it. I love that so much. You were so funny. Oh.
Okay, maybe.
We've established that clearly romance means different things to us. The thing we can agree on is that we both hate big public displays of affection.
I'm shocked that you do. I don't think you do.
No,
I think you're lying.
I do not like big displays of affection. I find them really embarrassing and cringy.
But we're not talking about big displays. I think you would generally enjoy a display of affection.
No, I'd prefer if no one was there. I feel very scared and self-conscious.
I don't know if that tracks with everything else you've said in your life.
Okay, well, what I am is not really up to you.
That's true.
What I'll do for you is make sure I do not touch you at all ever.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I've ever wanted.
I know it's all you've ever wanted.
That's all I've ever wanted. No touching.
Okay, have you had any really romantic interactions lately with anyone?
I watched Pushing Daisies. I said, "That's it. That's me, baby. I'm Lee Pace, baby." And also Pie.
I don't know what that.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Anyway.
Okay, wait. Huge pet peeve. No, huge pet peeve. Kevin, this is a huge pet peeve of mine. I'll be like, "Kevin, what is this?" Don't worry about it. You know what that does to me? It tells me, "Oh, Kevin's smarter than you. You're not at his level. You're on a different zone. You don't need to worry."
No, I would gladly go into detail about the 2 seasons of now defunct Pushing Daisies, a show that never found its audience on ABC and never has. However, it is completely off topic. So the reason I say don't worry about it is because it is not worth the time nor the energy right now.
But you do that.
Of course.
Yeah, okay, good.
Well, it's because I'm smarter than you.
Something romantic that happened to me lately Ew, I had the most psychotic romantic interaction. I feel weird about it.
We'll go on.
I was
I'll
hooking
tell
up
you
with
if you're
someone
weird or not.
recently.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you're gonna hate this.
I will.
You're gonna hate this. I
Yeah.
told you that a huge turn on for me is like intimacy. Okay, we're hooking up, literally first time meeting each other.
Uh-huh.
While we're having sex, he goes, "Oh, I love you," and I'm like, "Did you just say you love me?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Okay," and I was like, "I love you," and it turned me the fuck on, and we just were having the most weirdly intimate sex where we were saying it, and when we were it was so great, and we're done, and I was like, that was wild. He's like, yeah, it's just role play, and I'm like, yeah, that's fun, but also fucking weird.
I role played as someone who loves you?
Yeah, my friends are like, what were you role playing, a long-term relationship? I'm like, honestly,
a time
that's
traveler?
hot to
What
me.
the fuck?
No, that's hot to me. That's why when I'm in a
That's
relationship,
hot?
I love being intimate with my partner. Yeah, I'm like, we have such a shared history. Oh my god. My mic. Sorry. I got really turned on again. No, I didn't. That was a
Oh
joke.
my god. Yikes. Baby, therapy. That's all I have to say.
He said it was role play.
My theory, hearing that, I don't believe that was roleplay. I think that was him trying to excuse the fact that he fucked up saying "I love you" while having sex for the first time. That's my.
You
theory.
kept
That's where my
saying
brain
it a
goes.
lot. No, it's role play. You don't. I don't actually love him. I literally don't know his name, and he doesn't know mine.
Roleplay as love. Part of me is like, yeah, it's fine, and then the other part of me is like, that's weird behavior. I'm trying to figure out how judgmental I should be right now.
I think it's. I'll be honest. I think it's a little weird, but I'm such a passionate, emotionally in tune lover that it was hot for me.
I'm so fucking sorry. How can you roleplay as lovers and then also in the same fucking sentence turn around and say you don't want PDA? I don't believe you. I think you're a liar. I think you're a fucking liar, Camille.
PDA?
Yeah.
What does PDA have to do with what we do in private?
In the Venn diagram of people who enjoy holding hands, we have got one side of people who role play saying I love you, and then people who it's a fucking circle, bitch.
I like holding my partner's hand in public. I don't necessarily want to keep like kissing them in public because I feel scared of people watching us and it's weird and it feels performative.
Actually, how does race kind of play into that though? Because I imagine not race play. No.
Jesus.
PDA,
no, I know.
Bitch.
So it plays into it because when I say I love you, I say with an Indian accent.
With a bowl full of curry right next to you, huh?
No, you can't add it on like that.
I can.
You can say
you cracked the door open. I kicked it through. I took my
Kevin.
foot.
What does race? What does okay? To be honest, a big part of why I don't like PDAs because it's like I've always like safety thing. Always, it's just been so scared. Being like, oh, like,
well, that's exactly my point. When pretty white people do something, everyone's like, how cute. The second anyone else of, just someone who doesn't look like someone in normalized society approaches that same thing, people are like, so
sometimes, maybe not. To be honest, I don't know if I'm sure that's a phenomenon. I don't know how much I can relate to that. I'm a very light-skinned, like white passing, at least white adjacent person, right? Like I don't know. I feel like co-opting that identity and being like, yeah, I have the same experiences as them when it comes to displaying intimacy isn't really fair.
Okay.
Are you laughing because I said I'm white passing?
No, I mean, we're not asking We're not asking you to like invent a circumstance where it might be happening. You could just tell us if it's happened or not.
What about you? You told me last time that you only date white people, but like you said you like to have sex with ethnics. So like when you have sex with your ethnics, like how do you feel about PDA with them?
Wow! Phrase that differently. How dare you? With the cameras rolling? How dare you? Yeah, fucking make that up.
That's funny.
Unpack me with those words. You know, every single person listening is going to hear that and be like, I knew it. I know.
I literally made that up because I thought it would be funny to say.
Bitch.
Kevin told me he's only going to do this podcast with me because I'm light-skinned.
That's true. No. God.
He was like, for our podcast picture, can you wear a sari?
Yes. Yeah. all of this will be edited out,
All of it
bitch.
happened. And I
Every
was like, sure
single
thing.
bit.
Oh, fuck. I forgot you're the editor. Fuck.
That's right. Speaking of the very fun topic of race, is there media that you connect with more than others? Or is there something that like really stuck out to you as queer media or just regular media that you were like, or has that really not happened yet?
Yeah. I told you I grew up with a lot of Bollywood movies.
Mhm.
There was a, not as mainstream, but a few years ago, this one Bollywood movie that was really good. It was about a gay man and a gay woman who just meet and get married to each other to shut their families up and have their own relationships. And it's also about their friendship. And the guy's like a closeted cop. And
Mhm.
I thought it's called Badhai-ho, if you would like to look it up. Badhai-ho, Badhai space Ho. Anyways, yeah, it was nice because like no one talks about this shit in like our cultural media, and now it's becoming more kind of normalized. So that was something I like. Yeah. What about you?
This isn't gay at all, but I read Circe by Madeline Miller,
Okay.
who's a fantastic author, and it is so well written, and it's not gay per se because she is a heterosexual lady, but
Yeah.
the feminist narrative and the way that Miller kind of writes love and relationships, it is the most queer adjacent, authentic, and like compelling story that I've kind of engaged with in a really long time. And that's the kind of stuff I'm missing from all these movies, TV shows. It's
Yeah.
like, actually, this is an interesting tangent, but something that I've been thinking about is how friendship is never really a plot line. It's always the relationship that solves the problem. And I think there's this capitalist idea that often a friendship is something that is harder to make money from. So every holiday that we have is focused on, spending money, like wedding days or Valentine's Day, Christmas. It's all just this romanticized or like family get together. It is something where you come together and spend and buy instead of
What does that have to do with
appreciate.
romantic relationships, though?
Because friendship is, I think, more important than finding a romance. I think finding a friend, finding a community is more important and more robust than just than like being in a relationship. And I think that we don't necessarily lean into that as much because our society can't make money from that idea.
Because it's less appealing
financially for businesses.
Yeah.
It's not less appealing to have more friends than a boyfriend. Like, it is financially more difficult to get people to spend money if they're just friends hanging out,
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You know what's one piece of queer media I'm going to get? Oh my God, white homosexuals, the way they come for me when I say give this take out. Also, the way I've had to deal with them way more now that we're collaborating in the comment sections. Oh my God. Literally.
Sorry. That's
like,
my brand.
I'm so sorry, but like all of these white homosexuals have like literally 2 brain cells. And like, you are stupid. You're dumb. Not all of them, obviously, just the ones that are like, anyways, I'm just not used to this energy. I'm so sorry.
There's an approach where I'm like, you haven't thought this through, have you?
I'm just like, you're dumb. Like, why are you talking to me? Okay, that was really mean. But I just how I feel in this moment because I'm getting heated about the way people react about my opinion on Call Me by Your Name when I think that age difference was really inappropriate. He's like 16 and the guy's 26.
Yeah.
I think that's so inappropriate. And I don't care about legality. Legality and morality are not the same thing. It's about life stages.
Sure. I mean, the movie does not take place in 2024 and I want to give a little bit of grace to the story only because back then, like, out queer people were hard to find. And then also, I mean, I'm going to keep referencing this book because I'm annoying, but I'm reading RuPaul's memoir. And there's also a part where he meets someone and they're like, well, I got to wait till you're 18. And they're like 36. And it's like, that is unfortunately part of the norm of gay culture back 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Call Me by Your Name take place? Let me Google this.
I want to say it's the 70s?
1983.
80s. Okay. So back then, that was far more normal. Granted, you don't have to have patience for it, but in the context, there's like a history of that. And also, like, unfortunately, like, it's probably the most honest representation about the fucking story. What I don't like is how first of all, bitch is on vacation for his entire time. He's literally walking through peach groves and Italy, and he's having a hard time because he can't find love at 16. Get over it. He's got parents that love him and support him astronomically. He's got a girlfriend who he treated like shit and is like, it's okay, I understand, you're going through a hard time. And he's fucking rich in a big house crying in front of a fire. Where am I supposed to find sympathy for this little dumb bitch who gets to fuck Army Hammer? I am so sorry. Where's the conflict?
It's about the innocence. First of all, he's crying. Kevin, he's crying happy tears that Army didn't eat him, first of all.
Yeah.
He's like, thank God.
He's like, I escaped. Oh my God.
He's like, I saw a Reddit thread about all the boys he's eaten.
Luckily, I'm one of the lucky ones.
You know, Kevin, I agree with what you're saying. I just want to go back to what you said earlier because I really like the way you framed it, where you're like, you can have no patience for it, but you can acknowledge that weird dynamics were like, for some reason, socially acceptable. I've heard so many stories online of people being like, yeah, I asked my parents how they met, and my dad was like, haha, yeah, we just like kidnapped your mom when she was 16. And like, that's like a normal thing. And like shit like that. Or like my aunt was like, yeah, I met your uncle on his wedding day, like my dad's cousin. Or like my other like parents' cousin was like, oh yeah, like I remember when I met my wife, she was 12 and I was 18 and I thought she was so pretty. This is like a weirdly normal thing. So I understand what you're saying in terms of like, why were these things normalized? Did people not understand the social implications of it?
No, they didn't.
It's dishonest. I think it's dishonest to say that it didn't happen. So I actually appreciate you shedding light on that. And I appreciate you validating the fact that I can think it's gross. I really liked it.
Yeah. I mean, also we have to remember like before the internet, it took me until I was 24, 25 to like figure out I was gay. If there was no internet, if there was no community that I could find of people sharing stories or what have you.
That long?
Yeah. So like I can't fathom how long it would take me as a person living before Al Gore's internet existed to kind of like put those pieces together. So again, it's like if a 36-year-old was looking for people and like to them it's like, oh, I just discovered this about myself, we're kind of the same. Like I can see that perspective. Granted, it does not change how groomery, how predatory, it doesn't change the act, but the mindset, it's like, I don't believe these people are monsters. I just think that of the time there's just a different association with the actions, and there's a different kind of mindset of looking at the gaze around you. Anyway, moral of the story.
We would both be Willy Wonkas.
What?
Huh? You're like the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka, and I'm like the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka.
What the fuck did I do to deserve that? How dare you?
Just in general, like your vibes.
Can I? What? We have so much to unpack with that sentence. How dare you? I'm like Johnny Depp, Willy Wonka? You know what?
Yeah.
That's mean.
No, it's not. Because he's sassy and he's like, ew, shut up, child. And I'm like, so magic.
That's Willy Wonka's whole thing. That's in all of the movies.
But the way Gene does it is charming and sexy.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, since we're here, my red flag is that you think I'm like Johnny Depp, Willy Wonka. Just because that man wears gloves and doesn't want to be touched. I swear to God.
You would look really good with bangs. No, Kevin,
I know you're a fucking liar.
Bangs.
Fuck
Kevin,
off.
Kevin, seriously, get
like
bangs.
Justin
so
Bieber
good.
with a fucking hemorrhoid problem. That's what I'll look
Kevin,
like.
I'm not even joking. You look so good with bangs. Try it. Get it. You would look great.
Off. You saboteur. I don't need a self-sabotager. I don't need an inner saboteur. I've got you with me. How
dare you? You think I'm Johnny Depp? How dare you? You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding or whatever.
If anything, I'm gonna be like Johnny Depp in. No, actually, if I was good, has Johnny Depp done anything like normal? No, I'm Edward Scissorhands because I want to love, but all I know is hurt.
Aw, Kevin, you don't want to love, you little liar.
All right, and my green flag for this episode was, you know what? My green flag for this episode was being able to finally vent about relationships, because I think that PDA and the heteronormativity of relationships sold in media is tacky and lame.
Tell him. My red flag for this episode was being made aware of the fact that I'm in a shifty mood. I don't love not being able to control the way people perceive me, so I'm going to be thinking about this.
Oh, you did great.
No. I'm sure I did great. It's not about that. I just want control because I'm an anxious person. I'm also literally insane.
That's tea.
My green flag is easy. It's your movie man voice. I love that. That was really like tasty.
Very 1920s.
Like, wrap it up in a little golden box and ribbon. Yeah, like whew, it's crispy. It's like luxurious.
Wow. Okay.
You know, our paper bills are actually made of plastic, so you can't rip them, unlike your weak little things.
I did know that.
I felt so rich in America. You guys have $1 bills. I was like literally putting some in my mouth, not to taste them. I was like doing something. I needed to use my hands for something, and like held it. Oh no! I was trying to pick my teeth with the edge of one, and I felt rich. But I was like, it's just $1. There's food in my teeth. Stop looking at me like that.
No, you deserve this look. You deserve that. What the fuck? Why?
Stop.
What?
If there's food stuck in your... No. If there's food stuck in your teeth and you don't have floss...
Where were you that there was nothing available but $1?
I was walking around the city. I just needed something ASAP because there was something in my teeth.
Well, on that note, please don't put money in your mouth. I can't get past it. Please don't put money in your mouth, especially
don't put it in your mouth,
money.
If pick your teeth with it.
If anything, use a Canadian dollar. No, do not put these people that are still sticking around to watch the rest of these nice people who graciously listen to this entire episode do not deserve to be lied to.
If you need to get rid of something that's in your teeth,
don't use $1. Yes, correct sentence. Excellent. Why are you so mad at that?
Why'd you say yes, excellent, like we're live streaming and some commenter said that?
No, yes, excellent, correct. I am right when I say don't put money in your mouth.
This is gaslighting.
We've dove.
Yeah.
We have traveled to an area that I am now not really sure where we are.
Yeah.
Cheers. But listen, we'll unpack this next time. I'm not done with you. We will have a conversation after this about your flagrant money disposability.
I still used it.
That's worse. You gave someone $1 that you put in your mouth.
Use it at Magnolia Bakery.
You're the problem. You're perpetuating and taking damage from your own issue.
Oh, he's just told a person of color that he's taking jobs from the country. Thank you guys. Have a really good week. Thank you for listening. We love you so much. I hope I can see you next week if I don't get deported.
Oh my God.
I'm really scared.
Listen, thank you so much for listening. Yes, exactly. Like and rate this podcast 5 stars. Please give us positive attention because we need it. Taha needs it.
If you liked this video, you should leave a comment.
Absolutely.
And if you didn't, then don't leave a comment.
That's true. Actually, you can say whatever you want about the podcast. You can rate it however you like, but just know that my dog vets every comment, and if there's something mean, he will read it, and that's gonna be really upsetting for him. Tango, come here. This is my dog. So see, if you say anything bad, Tango has to read it, and that's gonna make him so upset.
You're so cute. Kevin, there's a real love in your eyes when you call Tango, and it makes me really happy.
Of course. Look at this.
Oh, you're a cutie pie. Look at that little cutie. Oh, Tango loves you.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening. We will see you next time. I'm gonna go get we're gonna go get Taha something that I'm
like tearing up from you kissing your dog like that. I'm literally tearing up from your dog, Kevin. That was so beautiful.
Okay. we're gonna get you some mood stabilizers or something. We're gonna get you something. This is it's time to go. You're literally crying. Oh my God, I love this.
I just teared up a little bit.
A little bit, girl. Those are streams. You're a crying emoji.
Nothing came out of my eyes. Nothing came out of my eyes.
All right, guys. Mwah. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.